Hey guys, just a few updates. I'm a commentary channel, so I do commentary to my videos. I just want to thank everyone who came through the live yesterday and supported the channel. Also welcoming the subscribers, the new subscribers to the channel. Make sure that the notification bell's on with the option all. So when I go live or do my premieres, you will get the videos. Also, take it upon yourself to check the channel on your own. Do not leave it up to YouTube to give you these notifications when I go live. But again, thank you so much for all the support. Y'all really came through yesterday. It was a whole bunch of you. And we all had, opinions. We can agree to disagree long as we respect each other. I have no problem with that. I know a lot of people were kind of sort of triggered by some of what Michelle's cousin was saying, but I think she was in her emotions because mainly she was mad at her family and the knowing that they knew what was going on with Michelle. And I also want to say no one's trying to paint a picture of Michelle being a victim and Queen Opp is the devil by herself. We know that Michelle played a role as well. But it still doesn't make it right for anyone to be mistreated the way she was mistreated, especially towards the end when Queen Opp had met Danny and allowed Danny to physically put hands on her and do that to her face like that. And I think that Queen Opp took it to another level when she got with Danny, and I think that to me is inhumane. And the cousin expressed her feelings, feeling as though, like I even feel, it shouldn't have took the cops to kick the door in for this to come to an end. One thing I do recognize and realize, I'm gonna let y'all know there'll be timestamps for people that don't want to hear what I have to say. You can skip to the video because I'm allowing the whole entire interview to play without me having any interruptions with my commentary. I'm gonna start doing that the next day. But what I'm realizing with Queen Opp is the reason why Danny is in place is because Queen Opp was falling. Her bag was fumbling because of what she was doing to Michelle. She was off of social media for 2 weeks because Michelle had to heal, of course. And when she did come on to social media, obviously we knew this is why she wasn't on social media was because of Michelle's face. And she needs that protection, and she knows Danny is from the rough part of Philly, and she'll do anything, any means necessary because she's a suburbs girl because she knows that she got a lot of enemies. So she's playing this, I'm in love with Danny and that's my boo thing, and you're gonna see how this plays out. But I'm gonna let y'all watch this live. And again, I will be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have some more updates, so y'all stay tuned.
My childhood with Shell, it was pleasant. That was my baby cousin. We're 5 years apart in age. I'm 41, she's 36.
Okay.
Okay. So we had a good childhood. Again, we would spend the night at each other's houses. Sometimes my dad would take us to the zoo or whatever. Her mom, my cousin, would have barbecues and little gatherings for the kids, Easter egg hunts, all that type of stuff. It was nice. It was ideal. It was pleasant. It was what your typical ideal happy relationship would be with your cousin.
How do you how do you recall Shell getting along with others growing up?
Shell was a sweetheart. Let me tell you, Shell was so pleasant and friendly. If you didn't like Shell, something was wrong with you. For real. If you didn't like Shell, something was wrong with you. She wasn't a troublemaker. She was very nice, soft spoken, agreeable, cordial, polite. I can go on and on. That's why I'm leery, and I might be digressing again, Supreme. I might be digressing again. That's why I'm leery of anybody that says they are Shell supporter. Because to know Shell is to really know her at her core. She wouldn't hurt a fly, for real.
But her at her core, is there something wrong? Can you see that something's wrong? Like when, if so, if you can see that there's something wrong, when did you see that there was something wrong?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. When I say that something was wrong with Shell, was when she was at that age where you go through puberty. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you get your menstrual cycle, when you start liking the opposite sex,
So
when you
she,
want to rebel against your
so
parents.
she's what, 11, 12,
So 11 or
13?
12, and at that time I'm about 17. So as I'm almost leaving high school, she's entering high school, right? So I had already been through the pubescent stage. So I'm already knowing, like, damn, she's at the pubescent stage that I was at 5 years ago, and she's still the Shell that I knew at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Mm.
That's when I knew something was wrong. I don't want to. I don't want to say wrong. I say different.
Well,
Let me rephrase it. Not wrong, but different.
okay. So what, at what age then would you say you were that you noticed that something was different?
17 or 18.
So for you
Matter
to,
of fact, oh my God, hold up. No, no, no. Even before that, even before 17 or 18, I'm gonna say when I was 13, Shell would have been 8. She still wasn't operating at the same level of other kids her age, even when I was young. Unfortunately, I can't pinpoint the age, but what I can tell you is that I knew early on that she wasn't thinking and carrying herself like other people her age.
what type of classes were her schooling? Like, was she in any special classes for developmentally challenged?
I don't know if she was in developmentally delayed or classes for special needs children. I didn't know because remember, we're just cousins. We don't know all of what's going on. We just get together for barbecues and things like that. What I can tell you is that Shell dad, Big Kirby, he kept them in good schools.
Right.
He kept them in private schools, whatever. But I can't tell you if she was in developmentally delayed classes or not. I don't know that. I can't really.
So from the time based on the time you say you noticed that there was something wrong, obviously you didn't. You had to come draw to this conclusion. You had to come to this conclusion on your own at the age that you were.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. I was already, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot my own horn. I've always been a very bright, brilliant, studious, intuitive child. Always like to read. If I would miss a day in school, I would get upset. You know how other kids, they want to miss a day from school. Me, if I missed a day from school, I would actually feel ashamed of myself for missing a day at school. So I was very discerning, very intuitive, very intelligent as a child.
Okay, well, this you as a child. This is how can a child grasp this much? How is it that you as a child was able to see this, but not the parents, not any adults? Why weren't any adults around you talking like you're talking right now as an adult? You're a child and you noticed something was wrong. Why wasn't there adults already saying, "Hey, hey, Michelle needs special treatment. Y'all, be careful around her. Make sure she's taken care of properly." Like these discussions were never had with you as a youth. Like,
There were adults around that noticed that something was wrong. They just wasn't Shell's parents. Shell's immediate family, the parents in particular, and the grandmother, rest in peace, my Aunt Alice, rest in peace, who y'all the internet know as Mabel. They're the ones that didn't have the discussions. But I honestly think that they knew it was just too embarrassing for them to admit.
oh,
And so they just went on with life pretending that she wasn't challenged. My
oh,
mom already knew. My dad
right.
already knew. My grandmother. We all knew, like, damn, you know what I mean? We every day knew.
Did Randy finish, or did Shelvin finish high school, or attend college for that matter?
I honestly can't. Let me see. Did she graduate high school? I don't know. I honestly don't know if she graduated high school. But at the same time, think of it like this: we talking about the Philadelphia school system. They passing anybody in the inner city, depending on what school you go to. They getting you out of there.
And
So it's that's I mean, even if she did graduate high school, what does that mean? Because this the Philadelphia school system,
right,
the city of Philadelphia school state. You know what I
right.
mean?
In your opinion, is Shell a normal functioning adult?
No, she's not. No, she's not a fully functioning adult. And the evidence is on display. The evidence has been on display for 15 years that she is not a fully functioning adult. The way that she has been degraded and abused and humiliated and I don't want to say agreed because she can't think for herself. But the way that she was done for years tells anyone who is a fully functioning adult with a fully developed mind can clearly see that this woman is special needs. Am I right or am I wrong?
So, in your opinion, Shell not being a normal functioning adult, can she live on her own?
No, she cannot live on her own. No, she absolutely cannot. And I'm going to tell you why. If she live on her own, which also means if she goes out and gets a job, applies for a job, which really she wouldn't even do that if she lived on her own because she needs somebody to tell her to go get a job. But anyway, no, she's not a fully functioning adult that cannot live on her own. Anybody that's seen the videos will see she was content with life with just playing video games. Even the Bird Op said it. The Bird Op said all she do, and she has said this on multiple occasions, because I've been keeping up. I've been watching these videos because my cousin on here. This my family member. This my loved one. I mean, because you being a family member don't really mean anything to me, but this is somebody that I care about. And knowing that she has a disability, and I was keeping up with it. And on multiple occasions, the Bird Op said all she do is want to sit here and play video games. Well, I wonder why.
Why?
So why a fully functioning adult is not going to want to play video games all day, right?
Hmm. That's a good point.
I mean, it only makes sense.
So, why is this being allowed to happen? If all of this that you say if all of this you say is true, how could something like this happen?
This happened because the proper protective measures were not put in place. Shell can't be protected because she wasn't protected. Let me say that again, because I already know that's going over a lot of people's heads. Shell wasn't protected because she wasn't protected. Meaning, she wasn't protected because she wasn't protected. She was supposed to have been evaluated and assessed by a mental health, behavioral health professional early. And I know for a fact that her parents, and you know what? Especially her dad, her pops, this man is a chemical engineer.
This is Kirby, Big Kirby.
This is Big Kirby. This is Big Kirby. Her dad is intelligent. This man is a chemical engineer. I know for a fact he knew and saw that his daughter was not like other kids her age. I know this for a fact. He too intelligent not to know. So this was allowed to happen because of delusion, because of denial, because of embarrassment, because of the willingness to admit and accept that your child has special needs. I see women on Facebook all the time, and it's beautiful when I see it. I see young women posting about the special needs children that they have and how they are so stressed out and how it's such hard work to take care of a child and like their child might be autistic or have some sort of special needs. But you know what they're doing? They're not denying.
Right.
Let me say that again. They're not denying that their child is special needs. What they're doing is admitting and accepting, and then they can take it from there. And there's no judgment. I can't imagine taking care of a special needs child. Just having a child, my 13-year-old daughter is so sharp and brilliant. I learn from her daily. She want to put hands on a bird right now. She would never spin off with a chick like that because I raised her.
I believe you. I mean, I'm listening to you now, and you definitely are. You're an honorable woman.
And even with her being bright, brilliant, intelligent, it's still hard. Every mother knows this. Every father, every parent who's active in their child's life know it's not a cakewalk taking care of a child. So imagine taking care of a child that you know has special needs. That's hard. It's still no excuse. She could have been placed in a home if her parents didn't feel like they were prepared or ready or equipped to care for a child with special needs. At least that way, they could check in on her. They didn't. Have, we wouldn't have to wait till the damn Upper Darby Township police to kick in the chick door to get her after 15 years. They could have went in there. Any signs of abuse, we getting them up out of there.
Have you ever recalled her to be in any relationships?
I don't recall her being in any relationships, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I would see Shell, my bad. When I would see Shell, she was like a kid. She was like a 7-year-old. She just wanted to play her game.
Randy is her childhood name.
Randy is the name that we call her. Michelle's her government name. Her government name that y'all all know. We call her Randy. That's what I grew up calling her. I never knew her to be in any relationship because I didn't never even thought of her being in a relationship. Like the thought of it was beyond me.
When was the last time you saw her?
The last time I saw her was at ShopRite.
How long ago was that? ShopRite is the local grocery store.
ShopRite is the local grocery store in Philly. It's a local grocery store on the East Coast. They got one in Jersey, Philly, New York. And the ShopRite that she worked at is literally like 5 minutes away from where we lived at. It's like a 3-minute bus ride. And if you want to get your exercise on and hike a little bit, you can actually walk. My grandma used to walk there. I'm saying this to say how close it was to home. So the last time I seen her, was before my daughter was born, and my daughter's 13 years old. So that's telling you how long ago that was.
Yeah.
And when I seen her, I was like, "Hey, cuz, hey, Randy," and she kind of smiled a little bit, but she looked like she wasn't allowed to speak to me. She had to look like if she spoke to me, she was going to get in trouble. Listen to what I'm saying right now.
So, well, because this leads me to my next question. I was going to ask you, do you know who who Queen Opp is?
Now
But
I know, but then I didn't know who Queen Opp was. What I knew, based on me calling Kirby, her sister, one day, I said, "What's up, cuz?" I said, "What's up with Randy? How Randy doing?" Kirby said, "She good. She all right. She moved down south with her girlfriend." And that was that. That was that.
and this is approximately 15 years ago.
This was at least 15 years ago. Because again, this
This
has
this
been
is 15 years ago. She would have been approximately
15 years ago. She would have been
20, 22, 23.
21. Yeah, that's about right because I didn't have my daughter then. I had my son who's now 21 years old and he was a toddler.
And this is a person who in your opinion, is developmentally challenged.
Yes, absolutely.
And she was living in another state with basically a stranger. She's not
Basic a
family.
stranger. But hold up. Let me tell you this. I have to mention this and I don't care who feelings I step on. I don't care because this is about justice for Shell, right? Justice for Shell hashtag is trending right now. I also was told that while my cousin Shell was working at ShopRite, she would babysit our first son, the one who's now living with some adoptive parents or whatever. She would watch our first son, first or second, in case I'm. Anyway, she was watching our son at her mother's house when they was working at ShopRite together. When I found that out, I couldn't believe it
Why is this being allowed to happen?
because the parents are was in denial for years about Shell being mentally disabled. They wanted her to not be mentally disabled, so they pretended that she wasn't and sent her out in the world, a world that she is incapable of navigating because she actually needs someone to think for her 24/7. I mean, for real, like literally. So she was allowed to babysit a chick how many people was going to babysit a child that she worked with? I mean, come on, let's be for real. How many people going to babysit somebody's child just because y'all work together?
But
That's not a typical
where
situation.
where is she babysitting this child?
At her mother's house, 2 minutes away from where I was living at.
Her
2 minutes. It's not
her
even two
mother never
minutes.
questioned that
No,
you know about.
no,
Not even
no,
her sister.
no. Because again, when you're in denial and operating from delusion and you don't want to believe what is, see, what happened is they didn't want to believe that Shell was mentally challenged. So they wanted to pretend that she wasn't. And now look, had they admitted and accepted that she was mentally challenged, we wouldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation. She would have never been able to be taken, and I'm using that word and I'm emphasizing it. She would have never been taken by a chick like Queen Opp
Hmm.
because they would have admitted and accepted that she was mentally challenged. They would not have been embarrassed. They would have got over the embarrassment.
Hmm.
I'm not even saying that's not a normal emotion to have. But when you deny it, what's really going on, look what happens.
Do you feel Shell can receive an SSI check?
Right. Yeah, she can receive an SSI check. Don't mentally challenged people receive SSI checks all the time? Yeah, she can. She qualifies for an SSI check. I know mentally challenged people that receive an SSI check and they don't even want the check when they still qualify for it.
Right.
I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm trying to
Right.
be lighthearted about it because the situation is so devastating.
Right.
I can't allow my emotions to cloud what I need to say, what I
Oh
need to
no.
convey.
Oh, you're strong. You're strong. But back to these questions because I got a lot more.
Go ahead.
So, Shell, she seems to have garnered a lot of support. How much of it do you feel is sincere?
Maybe 1%.
One.
Maybe one. Maybe 1%. And the reason why I say that is the support that she's gotten is mostly from people who were once obsters.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. 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 Most of the support that she's receiving is from people who found out that they was being played. They found out that the bird act was playing in their face, and then they jumped on the justice for Shell train. That's just what it is. I'm not saying that there's people out there that were not from the very beginning disgusted by what they saw, but what I am saying, most people were kikiing and cacaing,
Hmm.
and oh, this just a skit, and she with it, and she's going along with it. It was more of them than it was people such as
Right.
myself and yourself who were disgusted by what was going on.
Right. What do you see? What do you see for Shell's future?
I can't see anything right now, and I'm gonna tell you why. I can't see anything for her future right now because right now it's this. Oh, Shell's back home with her family, the same family she was with when she was taken by the bird op from ShopRite when they was working at ShopRite.
Right.
She's back home with the same people that couldn't protect her. And I'm not going to apologize for hurting somebody's feelings when I say that. I don't care. This is not about anybody but Shell. Me telling the truth is justice for Shell. I don't know what Shell future holds. I can only predict what her future holds if I'm allowed to influence her. If I'm allowed to influence her mind and plant seeds in her mind, then I can predict what her future holds. Right now, I don't know. Cause
You,
she like again,
you
she with the
feel
same people that she was with when she was taken by the chick up.
you you say influence. You're her family. Why do you feel like you're not a influence to? I mean, I don't understand why you feel like you don't have the capabilities to influence her in any way, being that you are her cousin.
I'm gonna tell you why. I just tried to see her. I just tried to see her a week and a half ago when I was in Philly.
Really?
I text her cousin, I mean my cousin, my bad. I text her sister, my cousin Kirby. I didn't get a response. I said, hey, I'm gonna be in Philly on such and such date or whatever, and I want to come see you. I never got a response.
So you were in
But
Philly.
yet I'm seeing other people talking about can I come through and oh yeah, come through.
Wow.
So I was like, oh
What do you
okay.
mean? You said you seeing all of this?
This on Facebook. On Facebook.
So you're saying that you went to Philadelphia, you tried to get in contact with your family, being Shell, her sister Kirby, and her mother.
Yeah.
You
I really
notified
wanted
them.
to see Shell. I'm gonna keep it 100. I really wanted to, I want yeah.
Well, you
I
sent.
really wanted to see Shell because she just been through hell. She just been through hell.
Okay, well, who did you contact? Why
I
did you
contacted her sister,
being Kirby?
Kirby, my cousin. Yeah.
What was Kirby's response when you contacted
There
her?
was no response. I was left on red. There was no response. Which to this day I don't understand why. Because we grew up together. Remember?
So you was in Philadelphia. You didn't see.
No, and I wanted to. I talked to her on the phone though. Um, right after the Upper Darby Township Police kicked out Doran, about a couple days later, Tiffany Masika, called Kirby, my cousin, and I said, "Yeah, cuz how she doing? Cause I know she witnessed what I witnessed, which is Upper Darby Township Police kicking her doorman. And I heard the cops, everybody heard it. Yeah, we taking her to the hospital or whatever.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So, that's why I'm doing this video. Kirby, she won't let me see her. And I don't understand why. I kind of have an understanding. I'm not going to speak on it yet.
Wait, wait. So you're doing the video. This video you're doing is basically because you haven't seen your cousin since she's been home.
I haven't seen my cousin since she's been home.
You haven't seen Shell.
I haven't seen Shell, and me and Shell grew up together. I told you I got pictures with Shell in my bedroom in our house that we lived on in Mount Airy, Philadelphia.
Do you feel like you're being blocked?
I feel like I'm being blocked for whatever dumb reason that I feel like I'm being blocked from seeing her, and I don't know why.
Who do you feel is blocking you?
The person, her Kirby, her sister, the person who I contacted. I ain't text her mom because I don't talk to her mom. Me and her mom not the one that grew up together. Her mom and my mom are the one that have the relationship. I have the relationship, or so I thought. Or so I thought.
Right.
I just wanted to see my cousin. I wanted to hug her.
So
I did talk to her over the phone for a minute. I told her I love her and asked her how she was feeling. But I wanted to see. I wanted to physically touch her. I wanted to hug her. I wanted her to receive my energy of love, pure love and genuine love.
And you wasn't allowed to see her after you haven't seen her in how long?
No, the last time I seen her was when I told you I was at ShopRite, and this had to be 15 years ago. Before my daughter was born, who's 13. That was the last time I seen her.
So you've been resorted to doing a video.
I had to do a video. I don't even know what I'm doing on here right now. I don't, you know what I mean? Do I sound clear? How does this video sound? Like I have to do a video in hopes that this will. Can I see my cousin? Apparently, other people can. From what I seen on Facebook, under the post that was sent to other YouTube content creators, can I see my cousin? Somebody that genuinely loves her, not some chicks that claim to be her friend. My cousin did an interview, Kirby. She did an interview about my cousin with a young lady that's a content creator on here, who I'm very grateful for, who I would consider. I might be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. I consider somebody who was always in support of Shell. The young lady that did the interview with my cousin. I know who it is. This was the interview my cousin did about my cousin Shell, her sister. And the interview was laughable.
Really?
It was laughable. Because it painted Shell in a light that wasn't true. It painted Shell in a false light. It painted Shell as someone who's just in a toxic relationship with her girlfriend and couldn't get out.
This is an interview with her sister?
Yeah, this was an interview with Kirby, Shell's sister, my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you said she painted a picture that was untrue? Kirby painted a picture?
Yeah, she did. And you know what? I'm not.
Can you recall what exactly was said, or
how intelligent she is, and she's so intelligent she get men. Well, let me discuss that. First of all, you don't have to be intelligent to get men. You could be a 5-year-old and a man of. You could be 3 years old. You could be a dog. You could be a horse. And a pervert will sleep with you. That's number one. Oh, she went to college. Well. Going to college doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you intelligent. It makes you smart. There's a difference between being smart and intelligent. Being smart meaning you know how to memorize information. You know how to regurgitate information. And she can't even do that. You have to literally give her a script and beat it into her.
I mean, so basically her future, she has to be basically what you're saying, she has to be handheld for.
That's exactly what I'm saying. She cannot navigate the world the way that me and you can and other fully functioning adults with fully developed minds
Now,
can.
this
She
is
can't do that.
at 30 something
This is
odd
at
years.
36. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to be a very inconvenient, painful truth to not only my family, my relatives, but to whoever. Even at 56, she's going to need somebody to think for her. This
Mm,
is just what it is.
mm.
Instead of accepting the truth, what they did was pretend that she wasn't. And I'm not even real. I'm not really all the way putting this on Kirby because she's just a sister. This really started with the parents.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as the sister, at a certain age, you should be able to see through your parents' delusions and say, you know what? Forget what they saying. Something my sister needs to be taken care of. My sister can't navigate the world by herself. She's special needs. So to get on there and paint this picture like she's just this normal adult who just happened to fall in love with this chick and in a toxic relationship with Stockholm syndrome, it's laughable. Even women who are or were in domestic violence situations. How many women you know that was in domestic violence situations what have been through what Shell been through? Let me tell you, anybody can look this up. Look it up yourself. Women in domestic violence situations, a lot of them leave. Even though they come back,
Right.
at least they leave.
Right.
Shell ain't even leave. She had to get the door. Upper Darby Township Police had to kick the door in. And what did Shell do? When the cops said, we've been getting calls from all around the country, what she said? The calls are fake. Is that coming from a fully developed mind?
I mean,
The calls are fake. That
Stockholm
black eye
syndrome.
not fake. That black eye not fake. Them busted lips not fake.
Stockholm syndrome's not fake.
Even a
If that's
woman
the
who was
case,
abused, even a woman in a domestic violence situation, they'll at least try to leave. They'll at least leave. They'll leave and go to a domestic violence shelter, even if they end up back with them. My bad, I was getting ready to cuss. Even if they end up back with the person that they was in a relationship with. What I'm trying to drive home here is that they at least left. Shell didn't even try to do that. It had to come to a crisis.
right, right,
And they had to take her.
right.
The state had to take over.
When was the first time you heard of Queen Opp?
The first time I heard of Queen Opp was on Facebook. I was on my Facebook, which is the only app that I'm active on.
And how many years ago was that?
Oh man,
Approximately.
this had to be like, nah, was this before my daughter was born? I used my daughter as a reference point because I had my kids almost 10 years apart. So this is my baby. Um, I think she was born already. I'm gonna say at least 10 years ago was when I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. But see, the thing is, I had heard of
When
her. I just didn't hear her character or her what is the word?
okay, well you knew Shell was you knew there was a problem 13 to 15 years ago with Shell.
Yeah,
And in that time, when did you realize that it was Queen Opp that was the wedge?
I was scrolling my Facebook, the only app that I'm on, and I saw a video, and immediately I saw my cousin. I saw a show.
So this is how many years ago? You say 13 to 15 years ago is when.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say at least over about 5 to 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it's been that long. That's sick. About 5 to 7 years ago, I was on my Facebook and somebody on my friends list from Philly shared a video, and it popped up on my timeline. And I immediately saw my cousin, and I was like, oh my God. The chick was ripping the wig off of her.
Wow.
And that was a video that I learned had went viral. I think that's how a lot of people came to find out, or learned about who this Queen Opp bird was, right? I said, oh my God. Oh my God. So then at that point, I started, I immediately went to Instagram, because I think whoever shared it, the video came from Instagram. I fell out of the loop. Like, my cousin was going through this. At this point, all I was told was that she had left Philly with her girlfriend and she moved down south, which I knew was more to it than
But
that.
you heard this 13 to 15
This
years
13
ago.
to 15 years ago.
Okay.
And then I'm seeing this video later on. And like I said, somebody had shared it from Instagram. So I immediately went to Instagram and oh, you know what happened? They had her name, her handle on Instagram or something. And then that's when I seen all the videos eating dog poop on all fours and getting wigs snatched off her head.
This is your cousin eating dog poop and getting wigs snatched off?
Yeah, that one video that I seen on Facebook, somebody had shared it from Instagram. And so what that did was that led me to go on Instagram and start, researching.
So this is the first time you heard of Queen Opp?
This is the first time I heard of Queen Opp. This is not the first time I heard of her as in,
Right.
but this is the first time I heard of her handle, her
Right.
I don't know her alter ego, whatever you want to call it. This is the first time I heard of her character, her alter ego, whatever, on social media.
So you hadn't heard anything? This is just basically what you just saying?
I found out on the internet like everybody else, which is messed up. Like I really feel some kind of way about it. Why did I have to find out about this chick on the internet with other people? Why wasn't I told what was really going on with my cousin with this chick?
Right.
The only thing I knew that I was told was that she left Philly with her girlfriend that she was working at ShopRite with, who she was babysitting her son at her mom's house, which was literally 2 minutes from where I was living at. Well, at the time I wasn't living there. That was my grandma's house, but I have already moved.
Do you feel like certain truths were deliberately being held from you?
Yeah. Yeah, they was. And you know why they was?
So for certain truths to be being withheld from you, that would mean that certain people were aware of certain things.
Absolutely. Bingo. Bingo. Certain people were already aware of certain things and didn't want me to find out. You know why? They didn't want me to find out because I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. I deal with reality. I don't live in delusion. I can't afford to live in delusion. And I think. I'm a thinker. I'm a critical thinker, and I think for myself.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am. I've always been a brilliant child. I've been an avid reader, and to this day, very intuitive, very discerning. Even,
Okay, so now that Queen Opp and your cousin Shell, they're together, they're making skits. What do you think of these skits? This is when they first get together, when you're first aware. Like, what do you think of these skits?
What skits?
I mean, the skits.
There are no skits.
You,
there are no skits.
None.
There are no skits.
All those.
These are not skits. That's what she told y'all, and that's what y'all believe. Y'all people really believe these were skits. This is her doing her. Shell is her prop dummy.
Wow.
And then she tell the internet, and since most people don't think for themselves, most people have to be told what to think, which is the audacity, because these the same people that's calling Shell dumb and you this and you that. But yet, y'all sat up and believed these were skits. Ripped the wig off her head. Oh, that's just a skit. Having her all fours eating dog food and dog feces. Oh, that's a skit. Having her perform fellatio on a homeless crackhead. Oh, that's just a skit. There are no skits with this chick. This chick she's not smart enough to do a skit. She's not disciplined enough to do a skit.
How did that make you feel to see your cousin?
I was devastated because this is somebody I know personally. And I know she didn't deserve that. She really was trying to be this girlfriend. She didn't know that she was the prop dummy. And it's not her fault because her mind is not fully developed.
What do you think of Queen Opp?
She's disgusting. She's disgusting. She's a clown. She's a weak bird. She's weak. Disgusting, despicable, a clown. She's please. She can't get it. That's why she has to move around outside of Philly the way that she does.
Where's she from?
I was told, my cousin Kirby told me she was from Baltimore, and I had to ask her. And I asked her because it was so ridiculous to me. I said, cuz, this chick can't be from Philly. Her girlfriend, where's she from? Because I know she ain't from Philly. No, she from Baltimore. This was a later conversation when my cousin Kirby called herself opening up a little bit more to me about the chick. It's like this information was being hidden from me. And yet I'm the key. I'm the key to helping prevent this from happening again. Wow. But it's like this information was being held from me. And she said, oh no, she's from Baltimore. She ain't even from Philly. I said, well, yeah, I figured that. Right. I figured she wasn't from Philly. She don't strike me as no Philly chick. That's why she had to name herself Philly's #1 troll. That's all she is a troll that live under a rock, come crawling out of rock like a little rat, a little troll.
So she's not from Philly?
No, she's not from Philly. But see, what gave her little ego, I don't know if you seen that Gilly movie that she was in. You seen that joint, the Gilly? It was a little Gilly Hood movie she was in.
Which movie? Because I'm gonna reference.
I gotta get the name of it for you.
Well,
she had a little 5-minute little scene in there. Shout out to Gilly.
Shout out Gilly.
Shout out to Gilly from Philly. I rocks with Gilly all day long and Wallow.
Gilly and Wallow.
All day, $1 million worth of game. Yes, all day. So I guess because she had a little 5-minute scene that the Philly brothers gave her a chance to put her in a movie. Oh, she blew that. She had to resort to beating on mentally challenged chicks.
Well, she's referred to herself on multiple occasions as a county girl. Can you explain what that is exactly? What she means?
A county girl is a suburban chick. It's a chick that will not, do not, and know better than not to be in the city. The city is too overwhelming. She can't move in the city the way that she can move in the county. She can't finesse people in the city. She can't burn people in the city. Now, let me say this. No, she can't. Because I'm thinking about the wannabe stud that she running around with right now. Even though she's supposed to be from West Philly, she's challenged too. She's slow too. She's a clown too.
That being Danny?
Yeah, the chick Danny. The fake stud. The fake stud. She ain't even, the wannabe stud. The Telesport, everyday Telesport drinking fake stud. Yeah, I've been keeping up. You damn right I've been watching. My cousin was with you clowns. You damn right.
All right, then.
You damn right I've been keeping up with it.
How do you think she ended up on the New York Billboard?
Somebody had to help her get on there. Somebody had to help this bird who admits that she's disease-ridden. Multiple children having CPS case, getting kicked off of Section 8. housing authority had somebody had to put this bird on the billboard, and I want to know who had to connect. Somebody tell me who put her up on this billboard in New York. New York.
I, I mean, I need to know
I want to
because
know who put her up on the billboard in New York. Pronto. Pronto.
all right.
It's
So,
ridiculous. It's a joke.
what do you say to the people
Why would
that
y'all even
say,
disrespect New York like that? Go ahead.
what, what, what do you say to the people that say, if you're so concerned, then why isn't she with you?
Why would she be with me? Anybody that asks that question, you're not a critical thinker. And that's why I'm here doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why would she be with me? This is not my child. This is not my sister. This is not my daughter. She's going to be with her immediate family. Her mom, her sister, her aunt, her dad.
Right.
Why would she be with me?
You
But I
really,
tell you this, if she was with me, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now. I'll tell you that.
mm,
I'll tell you that.
mm. You really think you can keep her away from Queen Opp?
I never said I could keep her away from Queen Opp. And guess what? I don't know if I can. Because I'll tell you why.
Was Queen Opp better match? I mean, she's had her for almost
Yes and
15
yes and
years.
no. Yes and no. Yes and no. The no, she can't hang with me intellectually. She have to have disabled people around her. She can't be in a room. She can't have a conversation with thorough people. You never seen her around a thorough person. Have you ever seen? Look at anybody that's listening to this. Look at any video. Have you seen her around thorough people?
Hmm.
Have you seen her around any thorough person? She making up stories on thorough people. What's his name? G Herb, all the Chicago dude. She's sitting up making up lies on them. You never seen this chick around thorough people. She's always around mentally disabled, drunks. Look at the chick she with now, no teeth, wanna be stud, mentally challenged. She has to have someone who's mentally disabled around her. That's telling you right now. So yeah, she met her match. As far as the energy, hell yeah, I can keep up with that.
Hmm.
Intellectually, hell no. She can't match me on her best day. She can't match me on her birthday. As far as wits and intellect is concerned, hell no. And she knows she can't. That's why she gotta have people like Shell and this chick Danny around.
I mean, if you say that she's been mistreating your cousin, I mean, if everything you're saying is true, what can drive a person to this type of behavior?
I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, but I can only assume from my own study, because I study human behavior. Like I said earlier, I'm an avid reader. And one of my favorite authors is Robert Greene, who some of y'all may know as the author from 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, just to name a couple. I don't know. What I do know is she's not as smart as she thinks she is. She moves too fast for herself. Look at the situation she's in now. How you a go getter? How you a hustling? You can't even stop having babies. What kind of hoe? Your hoeing stinks. What kind of hoeing is you doing?
Hmm.
What kind of hoeing are you on?
I mean, she has proven to be magnetic. I mean, the very people that are against her now were actually donating to her cause.
Well, guess what? Okay, but that just means that this is the people that she draws up. Goofy, mentally challenged people. Yeah, and this Randy Who chick, I'm glad you brought that up. I just watched a video of this goofy bird. I think she's from North Carolina. I don't know. Some goofy bird named Randy Who was one of her biggest supporters. was on a video with Moneybag Yo baby mom Juicy. These birds have the nerve to be on a Justice for Shell train, and they was her biggest supporters. This bird Randy Who had the nerve to say she wants to talk to somebody other than Kirby. Are you serious? Talk to me then. Talk to me.
Right.
I want this bird to talk.
Right.
Bird, what do you have to say, Bird? Talk to me. Since you want to talk to somebody other than Kirby, talk to me.
What do you have to say to the people that say ain't nothing about Queen Opp sweet and she got a loyal following?
Hey,
She been in movies.
From your perception of how y'all think, y'all right. She not sweet to y'all because y'all sweet. Because y'all allowed her to play in your face. She your idol. That's who y'all look up to. That's who y'all admire. So from your perception, y'all right. But at the end of the day, y'all slow. Are the same ones, y'all the same ones calling Shell retarded and you this and you that? What does that say about you? That you think this chick is not sweet. This chick is a clown. She can only have mentally challenged people around her. I never seen her in a room with somebody that can match wits and better. I never seen her in a room with people like that. The Gilly movie she was in, that don't count because she was given a script. That doesn't count. The Gilly movie don't count.
So what do you say? What's the infatuation with her? Then
It must be the fact that she maybe the accent, she talking fast. I mean, who was her biggest supporters? Where y'all from? I need to know. I don't really want to put it out there in a certain type of way, but she has a certain demographic that supports her, that are
well,
obviously infatuated with her accent.
but
Which she's trying to sound like she's from Philly. But I've been watching every now and again that Baltimore accent come out, and guess what? I love Baltimore. I got family out there. I got cousins, second cousins that I'm close to that's from B More. Shout out to B More. But that's where the infatuation comes in at. She
does she
talking fast, she moving fast, and she's appealing to degenerates.
so she garner does she garner support from Philadelphia?
Hell no. She don't garner no support. The only support she garnered support from two people from Philly. Shell and Danny.
What about Baltimore?
Baltimore, man, that's why she ain't in Baltimore. This is why it's important to think and to learn how to think. This chick from Baltimore, but she moving around in the county outside of Philly. She moving around in the suburbs of Philly. What does that tell you? That mean B More don't F for her. Can I cuss on here? This mean B More is not feeling her.
B More being Baltimore, Maryland.
B More being Baltimore, Maryland. I know from B More because, like I said, I got family from there. I got family right now that live there that I talk to on a regular basis.
A lot of things were said, and as far as on Michelle's concerned, a lot of things were said that might be hard for the average family to overlook. What do you have to say about that?
Well, guess what? Are you going to be mad at her? If you're mad at her, it's because you're still in denial that she's a mentally disabled person. You can't get mad at her for anything. This is like getting mad at a 3-year-old. See, the problem is most people are only able to discern and perceive what's in front of them. They don't know how to go beneath the surface. So because she's 36 years old, because she trying to sound like Opp, and she trying to talk fly and heavy, you mean yo and all that on the videos. This woman is mentally challenged and she has to be told what to say. She literally needs someone to think for her. So 24/7, 365.
Even all of that you just said, like, and all that. Like, you're saying she was told to say that?
Yeah, she was told to say that. Yes. Yes. Remember that video where Opp was sitting there, the bird Opp, she was sitting there, and the chick Danny was doing like a pregnancy cast over her stomach. And Shell was in the video, whatever, and then the chick Danny hit her in the head, and some of y'all said y'all was trying to figure out what it was that she hit her in the head with. Some of y'all said it was a frying pan, some of y'all said it was a blow dryer. Do y'all remember what Shell said when they was yelling at her and fussing and everything? She said, I wasn't paying attention to what y'all was saying. I was just trying to play my video game. I was just playing my video game. Think about that for a minute. Don't say nothing, Supreme. Think about that for 1 minute.
Right. Well, you got a channel called Smoking on Queen Opp. Can you explain to the viewers what that's about?
Smoking on Queen Opp is about exposing the truth behind the psyche of this bird, Queen Opp, but not just her. I would never devote all of my time and energy in dragging this bird. She easy. That's why she Philly #1 troll. That's why.
So she's trolling Philadelphia.
She's trolling Philly. Yeah. This is why she's Philly #1 troll. She'll never be that chick in Philly. Never. She ain't even that chick in Baltimore. Apparently, that's why you left, and now you a county girl in Pennsylvania. You a Pennsylvania county girl. My channel, and why I created it, was to shed light on the archetype, the Queen Opp archetype. If you don't know what an archetype is, look it up. Google it. Y'all know every damn thing else. My channel was about shedding light on an archetype, which is an ancient energy that has been around since human existence, which is people like that who prey on the weak and the helpless and the vulnerable. They're in the same lane as pedos.
So this is bigger.
And SA people. This is bigger than Queen Opp. She's one of the henchmen. She's one of the henchmen for that archetype. This is bigger than her. She ain't nobody to. It's easy to take her out. She taking herself out. She ain't even a good hoe. She can't even hoe right. She can't even. What type of hoe? No good hoe keep on having babies, which ultimately ruins their bag. This hoe need management. This 304, this is a busted 304. She ain't no bar, man. This chick is sweet. So to all the people that say she ain't sweet, you're wrong. You're one of the people that can be taken advantage of by Philly's #1 troll.
Well, what do you think about the Oppsters?
The Oppsters, to be honest, I put y'all in the same category as Shell. I don't mean to laugh, but again, I have to laugh because I don't want to have a heavy energy over me. Because this is my cousin. And at this present moment, I'm not allowed to have any sort of influence over her that will ultimately help her. I'm the key. I'm the key to preventing Queen Opp and the Queen Opp archetype and the Queen Opp energy from abusing her and anybody else that's like her. The Oppsters, to me, they're degenerate. These are chicks with CPS cases, multiple baby daddies, multiple diseases, houses in Virginia. A whole bunch of y'all got houses in Virginia. I mean, kicked off of Section 8 Housing Authority, BVs. Yeah, y'all doing what Opp do, smelling your fingers and scrunching your face up. What Sexy Red say? She said her cum is clear and y'all cum is green. Yeah. Y'all know who Sexy Red is? That's y'all. Y'all the ones who cum is green. So that's what I think about y'all. I don't think nothing else about y'all.
So
Y'all can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
what can people learn from you and your channel?
What y'all can learn from me is how to exercise discernment, how to think for yourself, how to set and enforce boundaries, how to not get caught up with the Queen Opp energy that again is an ancient energy that's been around since human existence. People have been taking advantage of the weak, helpless, and mentally challenged since humans have been in existence. Y'all can learn a lot from me. Just subscribe to the channel. This is the very first video, but trust me, there's more to come because I have a lot to say.
What can the viewers expect?
I'm going to set it up where y'all can ask me questions. That's one of the main things. I'm going to set it up where y'all can call in and ask me questions. Be prepared to support this channel. Because what I'm doing, I'm not doing this in vain, and I'm not doing this for my health, and I have other things to do. Yes, I love my cousin. Yes, I love Shell. But I have a whole life outside of this. This is why the only app I've ever been on is Facebook. I'm not on no other apps.
I mean, I've noticed you've started a movement. I mean, based off of this,
Yeah.
I, the smoking on Queen Opp.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly got something started here. You're actually selling T-shirts that say "Smoking on Queen Opp." Could you please
Look,
elaborate?
listen. All y'all gotta do is subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Y'all don't want to miss this. This is going to not only help my cousin, this is going to help y'all too. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I already said that the only app I've been on for years is Facebook. I had an Instagram. Well, I still got an Instagram when I was selling jewelry. I haven't posted on that in over 10 years. So that's telling y'all I'm not a social media. I didn't grow up in a social media age that a lot of y'all did. Because I know a lot of y'all that's Queen Opp supporters, a lot of y'all grew up on social media. So y'all don't have the skills and the tools to really deal with life. And that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna help y'all out.
Well, growing up, coming up as a youth, can you recall like Randy getting like special treatment from the other adults around you, like they where you would feel that it is something it was different than the treatment you were getting?
Well, what I can say is that my Aunt Alice, who y'all know is Mabel, she treated Shell like she was just her baby. Like she spoiled her. She loved her. So all them lies, all that stuff that Shell was saying about
This is
my Aunt
Aunt
Alice
Alice.
slash Mabel.
This
This
Aunt Alice slash Mabel
yeah,
would be Michelle's grandmother.
that's Michelle's grandmother, which is my grandfather's sister. My
Okay.
grandfather and
Okay.
Aunt Alice slash Mabel are
Just so the people
siblings.
can follow.
Yes. So she was the only one that I would say really gave her special treatment because y'all know how grandmothers are, y'all know how grandparents are, especially grandmothers. Grandmothers baby everybody. But other than that, nobody really
Based on your
gave her the care and the treatment that she needed as a challenged person. They just sent her out in the world like she was normal, like she was just a normal.
But was it? Do you feel that was she normal in their eyes? What she?
Yes. Hold up. I'm so glad. Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish answering
That
the
was the
question.
question.
Yes, she was normal in their eyes because clearly they were operating from delusion and lies. She was normal in their eyes because they were operating from lies.
But I mean, operating from what lies? Who
The
told them these lies?
Nobody had to tell. They told themselves them lies.
Wow.
They was in denial. They were in denial about who she was. They were in denial because of embarrassment. And look, I'm just assuming why they lied. Embarrassment, saving face, shame. So they sent her out in a world that she was not prepared to navigate. That she not even prepared to navigate. Because even us as parents that have normal functioning children, we still have to prepare them to navigate the world. She's not
Well,
capable. That's the difference, Supreme.
if
She's not capable. There's a
if
difference. Go ahead. My bad.
if they don't see that there's an issue with her mentally, why should they feel that basically my question is how did it get to this? I
How did it
mean,
get to this? As far as her
I
with
mean they don't
Queen Opp?
yeah, yeah. I mean, how did she end up with Queen Opp and all of these issues? She has all of these issues, but no one sees these issues.
Nah, you saying no one sees them. How you know they didn't see them? People see things all the time and then pretend they didn't see what they seen. I'm pretty sure. Listen, her dad is a chemist. Her dad is a chemical engineer. You're not gonna tell me this man that has degrees in a subject as complex as chemical engineering didn't see that his daughter was different than other kids her age. I believe they seen it, but I believe that's where the shame set in and the denial, and then they just pretended that she wasn't challenged. And they sent a challenged person out in the world who was incapable. Because, like I said earlier, there's a difference between someone who's incapable of navigating the world and someone who isn't prepared. We prepare our children to deal with the world, right? We raise them, we give them principles to stand on and lessons, and we're preparing them
She
to go
wasn't.
out in the world and navigate. This is not about preparing her. She's incapable. That's the
Mm,
key word. Understand what I'm saying?
mm.
The key word here is incapable.
Do you feel she's loved properly?
No, she's not. She's not. When
If,
you love someone properly, you accept them as is.
mm,
As is. No matter how embarrassing you think it is, no matter what other people may think, no, she's not. How many people would have to wait until the police kick their doors, kick a chick door in to save their mentally challenged family member? None. Not in Philly. Not in a whole lot of places. I don't give a damn if it was bumblefuck, whatever, in the deepest south. No, nobody who loves their family member would not ever have to wait for police to kick the door in. First of all, it wouldn't have never went that far. It wouldn't have never even went that far.
right.
Because they would have already accepted that their loved one is not like of the other people their age, and that this is what they have to do to keep them alive in the world. This is a matter of life and death.
How do you feel, and what would you like to say to Randy's supporters?
To Randy supporters, I just want to say, I know a lot of y'all was once obsters. Nothing gets past me. Understand that. Just understand that I understand and know that a lot of y'all was once obsters. I want y'all to I want y'all to understand and figure out why you was even once a supporter. Why you was even once an obster. Figure that out. We're not gonna put the cart before the horse. Figure out why you was once an obster before you became a shell supporter. However, now I want to speak to those who are genuine shell supporters who were never with this nonsense from the beginning, who was never with this demonic. This was never with this. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I send y'all nothing but blessings and positive energy and all of that. But I'm not going to pretend, because again, I'm a realist. And because I'm a realist, I'm not in denial, and I deal with what is, and I understand that a lot of the Shell supporters, the Justice for Shell, were once obsters. What I want y'all to do, figure out, and I can even help y'all. I'm gonna have some stuff coming up too to help y'all. I'm gonna have some things created to help y'all figure out why y'all was even once obsters to begin with. I got some stuff coming for y'all to help y'all figure out why you was even obsters to begin with.
We're looking forward to it.
I'm telling you, it's life saving. And I'm not mad at y'all. Y'all was obsters at first, and y'all got disgusted. I don't know at what point. I'm curious. Let me know at what point. This is what I want you to do. I'm gonna give y'all some homework. Let me know on this video in the comments, at what point did you become disgusted and went from an obster to Justice for Shell? I'm just curious. Help me help you.